the term really came about from the fact that they have accelerated the whole supply chain and made it so that consumers get products from inception to store in as less than 6 weeks. Traditional fashion, kind of a slow fashion, if you will, usually takes 18 months, 12 to 18 months to conceptualize the collection, start planning, production, and until it hits stores. So fast fashion, instead of having kind of traditional 4 seasons, they have 52 seasons a week. So basically every week they have new collections coming to the store. So that's where the term came from. So it's really fast. And then the whole idea is about giving consumers something new to look forward to and buy every week. So that's where it came from. And what we're trying to do, we're really kind of trying to flip the script on fast fashion and help people make more of what they already own instead of putting value on new. So we're trying to put value on quality, what you already have. Maybe it's a sentimental value. Maybe it's just really something that you have owned and loved and can wear several different ways. So at the core of the platform is really what it's about. It's about visibility. It's really having ability to see what you own, understand what you own, understand what works for you, for your body, for your lifestyle. And if you have all of that, then you make more intentional choices. For example, our AI stylist helps people rediscover their clothes by just giving simple suggestions on how to remix them. A lot of us, when we buy something, we buy it kind of to wear it with something else. It's kind of how we shop, right? Especially, I know a lot of men who just walk in a store, see something on a mannequin, like, okay, I buy the full outfit and that's how I wear it. And what we're helping with is just to spark that creativity and rediscover how to wear clothes that you already own. So that's basically what it is. And then on top of that, we offer services like alterations, repairs. We integrate with resale platforms, and it's all kind of at your fingertips. So this circular economy piece is built into the platform, and we're making it easier to extend life of each garment and shift from mindset of consumption and putting value on new to one of care and creativity.
Was it a moment in time, or what did that journey look like to create the business itself?
The idea came from really 2 things. That it was frustration, my own frustration with my own closet, and an opportunity. And plus, I spent many years working in fashion tech and retail tech in general. And I could see how much focus was on innovation and on selling more and faster. But no one really was talking about helping people make sense of what they already had. So that was kind of the big opportunity I saw. And I also heard from many people, friends, colleagues, that they have nothing to wear despite having overflowing closets, right? Very common problem. Mm-hmm. And I realized that the missing layer was really the context. So OpenWardrobe was born to kind of bring together data, design, personal insights, personal creativity to have people feel good in what they already own.
I really do think that there's something with intersecting technology with whatever area you're trying to make more sustainable. So can you speak to that, especially if you have that deep kind of online retail experience, as to what role does technology play in that adoption of maybe change behavior, and hopefully in this case it is sustainable behavior?
So I view technology as an enabler, right? It's not, it really just helps people when used well. It helps shift our behaviors, and it helps shift our behaviors at scale, right? Not just individuals, but everybody. In our case, we use AI to analyze users' wardrobes to recommend outfits and just kind of help them remix things. We provide kind of styling tips. We provide I already mentioned responsible next steps in life cycle of a garment, right? Like resale, repairs, alterations. And what we're seeing is that by making those action very seamless and easy and personalized, we lower the friction that often stands in the way of sustainable choices. So when we talk about sustainability in supply chain and materials and sustainable practices, better dyes and so on, it's all great. And it's very, very important conversation. But we at Open Wardrobe, we kind of realized that the focus on industry is there already, a spotlight is there. And we decided to focus on the consumer and help consumers make better choices without feeling like they have to sacrifice anything or pay more money for sustainable brands or do a lot of research. It's just all through this technology and tools and right, kind of being able to bring it all together. And beyond fashion, I think tech can, in general, help reframe consumption mindset across industries, right? So it's really kind of moving from passive ownership to active stewardship, if you will, right?
Yeah. I love that. And I really do feel like that is going to be such an important part of that path. And I work in a very different world. I work in energy consumption, and we are leaning on technology to help reduce energy consumption. We're also leaning on tools powered by AI in that adoption and in refining our technology. I'm personally often finding myself kind of at odds of, well, AI is very energy hungry, and then at the same time, we're trying to save energy. How do you strike that balance between leveraging a tool like AI that, as it stands right now, is very, very energy intensive, with finding these more sustainable solutions?
It's a big tension, of course. It's a big balance that we need to take into account. AI has a very big potential to drive massive efficiencies in many different industries, not just fashion. But it also, as you said, comes with a real environmental cost. For us, that means being more intentional about what we build and how we build it. We used to we use AI to reduce overconsumption, but we also can help with reducing overproduction, right? Through the data that we have about what consumers have and how they use what they have, we could potentially help with reducing overproduction. If done at scale, it can offset carbon footprint many times over, right? Just think about fashion in terms of its environmental impact. If it was a country, it would be the third largest polluter in the world. We also advocate for smarter infrastructure, transparency, and really kind of investing in more mindfulness enabled tools when it comes to consumption.
It seems we were talking about this at the top, that the average consumer, yeah, I would say the average household is now becoming familiar with the term of fast fashion and maybe the negative consequences of that. What do you still view as the biggest barrier? I mean, I'm sure there's certainly a component we don't want to neglect of accessibility, in terms of there's a large section of the population that would benefit from lower cost items. However, there are a lot of folks who I think can afford it and maybe just aren't necessarily making those decisions. So where do you see the largest barrier right now?
I think there's a lot of education materials and talking about materials, dyes, supply chain, and how we can make that better. The blind spots, in my opinion, right now is really in what happens to that garment after we buy it and after we've worn it for several times. So a lot of people don't even realize that for a garment to be considered sustainable, it needs to be worn around 30 times, at least 30 times. And with the current consumption levels, we wear them on average 7 times. And that's average, right? So many more are just worn a couple of times and then tossed or discarded somehow. So this kind of the another thing is what people are not realizing a lot of times is how much resources it takes to produce a single garment. So people know, oh, producing clothes takes a lot of water. How much water actually does it take? And a lot of people don't even know these numbers, that it takes as much water to produce one single t-shirt, takes 713 gallons of water, or 2,700 liters of water. So it's enough for a single person to drink for more than a year.
Wow.
Right? So, and then if we extend the life of our clothes but just 9 months, we reduce this environmental impact by 30%. So how do we do that? And it's already after we bought it, right? So this after purchase, what happens? How can we, it's not just, we talk a lot about how to make smarter decisions about choosing sustainable brands, but how do we make sustainable what we already own? I think that's where the blind spots are right now.